Hello, and welcome to the TBI podcast, Those Bored Individuals. What is up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new episode of the TBI podcast.
Yeah.
Hello.
In the words of a particular TV show I've been watching recently, it's been cold outside, there's no kind of atmosphere, we're all alone, more or less. So, yeah, in case you're curious, I've been watching Red Dwarf recently, so, yeah.
Good show.
Yeah. Kind of sums up everyone's current predicament right now. Because as the current lockdown continues, we've all been stuck in one place with very few other people there, but still, at least we can communicate. So
in a way, yes.
Well, thank God for a second there. I thought you were going to say about us having to witness Winnie the Pooh accepting the blindfold.
Oh no!
What?
Different Red Dwarf reference.
Oh God. Anyway, how have you guys been since the last podcast?
Not too bad.
All right.
It's all right.
Yeah, I've been good.
Well, as we brought up before, everyone's still in lockdown, but we're just waiting patiently for the next big movie, TV series, or game to keep us distracted even further. Yeah, we're supposed to expect a Nintendo Direct later tonight, so yeah, that's exciting.
Yes. I'm praying for Mario Maker 3. Could be a bit early.
I'm hoping for Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky remake.
Ooh.
Because Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky is probably... It has one of my favourite stories across all the Pokemon games.
I was watching a stream a while ago because Mystery Dungeon is a Pokemon game that hasn't managed to grab me over the years. So I tried the Super 3DS one, and I find it a little complicated for an RPG. Like, it's a bit hard to grasp. But I've heard Sky has got the most emotional ending, I think, or something like that.
Yeah. Because, oh my gosh, let me tell you, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky, it was probably the first game I ever played all the way through without hearing any spoiler information until the very end. And it was like, wow, they really thought all this through. So, yeah, that's just my hopes. A guy can dream.
I guess I'll quickly explain, but for those who don't know what Mystery Dungeon is, it's kind of basically the story kicks off with you waking up as a Pokemon, but you weren't a Pokemon to begin with. You were human, and all the other Pokemon are like, well, what are you talking about? You used to be human, and then it goes from there. So it's pretty interesting.
And you always have amnesia, so without knowing anything about Pokemon, you're immediately put into this world and you just figure things out from there, and that's what's so fun about it. So, yeah, the main focus is that everyone's hoping for Pokemon Diamond and Pearl remakes.
Yeah, that's been something people have wanted since, like, Black and White 2. Like, it's been long. People were really hoping for that.
Yeah, because my generation was the sort where I was just the right age for Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, aka the 4th gen of Pokemon. And to me, I don't think... I originally thought there's no way Pokemon could continue after this. This generation is perfect. I think that's a lot of people's genuine thoughts on Generation 4. It was one of the best.
Yeah, I did like Gen 4. There was a point back in secondary school when Gen 4 came out, I saw a certain Pokemon and I thought, oh, this is when Pokemon's running out of ideas, it's turning robotic and stuff, but then cat appearance.
Cat's at what?
Sorry. Rabbit's cat made a cameo.
Oh, I didn't. I couldn't even see it there. It was so focused on you, Dudley.
Sorry. No, basically, I thought Pokemon was running out of ideas, but then I tried Diamond and Pearl, and it was actually really good. So that was, but yeah, that's it.
Also, speaking of new releases, thanks to my new Mac, I technically have Apple TV, and because of that, I finally saw Wolfwalkers for the first time.
Oh yeah, how was that?
Oh boy, it's much like the other movies that the company has made. Wolfwalkers, it's a visual spectacle. Story is just really gripping.
Right.
Yep. For those of you who
I've
don't,
never heard of it.
okay. For those of you who don't know, actually, this will probably be a lot of people if you don't have Apple TV, which is basically just another streaming service.
Yeah.
But basically, Wolfwalkers, it's about a young girl, two young girls in Ireland in the Dark Ages, and one of them is a wolfwalker who, I mean, the story is basically a werewolf story. At its bare bones, it technically is a werewolf movie because wolfwalkers, you're a human when you're awake, but as soon as you fall asleep, your soul takes on the form of a wolf, separate from your physical body.
Oh.
So, yeah, it's a little scary knowing that there isn't any rest if you're a wolf walker because you're just constantly active all the time. But still, the story is very nice. And in a way, it kind of inspired me to start writing my own story.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't lie, it is kind of based on Wolfwalkers in some way, but I do think it is different enough that it can be considered original. I just hope that it's not racist in any way, as I've brought it up to Rowan already, haven't I?
Yeah, we've been discussing it, and there's a lot to consider with the themes he's trying to work with. I think it's quite good, but I'm no expert in the themes he's trying to convey, so I've recommended that he do some research and maybe try get in contact with some people.
Yeah. I've got a few questions answered. Aside from that, I mean, it's surprisingly easy for a story to get published. I mean, who would have thought that the Wonky Donkey would have caught on? I mean, really? That's all it takes? Just take a few words that rhyme and just put them next to some pictures and suddenly, boom, you got a bestseller. I mean, if it's that easy, if it's that... Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say there's probably more to it than that, but I don't know. Publisher.
Yeah. Dudley, thoughts on that?
Well, I can't continue without mentioning that, 3 years ago, I finished writing a book, and, because I tried to publish it on Kindle, but that didn't go down so well, and it was the first of a 5-story series, but trying to get it published I found was a bit tricky myself, so I don't know the processes about it. I have to say, looking at you can't see it, but looking at Emerald's shirt right now, it looks like something that would be the front cover of the book, so I thought
There's nothing to do with that.
I mean, if it's that easy to write a story, heck, I can come up with a new one right now. It's a spin-off to the Wonky Donkey, the Whinjin Pigeon.
Okay, I actually quite like that.
I was walking down the road and I saw a pigeon cuckoo. He used to whine all the time. He was a whinging pigeon, whinging pigeon.
And that's why he has no friends.
Oh, no, no, sorry.
That's all I got currently. I can't think of any other words that rhyme.
Yeah, if nobody's actually seen the Wonky Donkey song, it's worth a watch.
Yeah, written and composed by the original author of the story. So, oh, and by the way, if that guy's listening to this, the Whingin' Pigeon, that's my idea.
I have to say, you talking about wolf walkers gave me a little flashback to a CBBC show where, like, there were people who could turn into wolves, and they kind of were separated into different clans of people, and they'd. I don't know. I don't think it's like this entirely, but it gave me Twilight vibes. I don't know, but it was like, I don't know what it was called though. So if anyone knows about that, then let me know. So.
I'm sure someone with a bit of research will be able to help us out in that department. So,
Yep.
yeah. You're listening to the TBI podcast. Well, wouldn't you know it? Another live-action movie based on a cartoon.
Oh, well.
Yep, this time it's from the most famous silent duo in all of cartoon history, Tom and Jerry.
Ah, a classic.
I'm sorry?
Yep, Tom and Jerry are getting a live-action movie, and trailers have already been released. So, have you seen any?
No, I have not. This is literally the first time I'm hearing of this. Let's see how corporations can ruin this one.
I like the trailers.
Now, the thing is, the trailers are actually kind of interesting. At least in terms of the direction they take, because in the movie, Tom and Jerry are basically cel-shaded CG characters. So they still kind of look 2D, even though they're technically live-action characters. And something that I find really interesting about this movie is that they're replacing every animal that appears in the movie with a CG equivalent of itself.
Okay.
So basically, any animal that appears in the movie will have the same cel-shaded CG as Tom and Jerry themselves, whether it be from the pigeons in New York or the elephants and tigers that appear in the Indian wedding scenes. So what they've essentially done here is they've essentially established that all animals in this world look like these cartoon caricatures, basically.
We're taking the Who Framed Roger Rabbit route, you mean?
Yeah, precisely.
Oh, that's not so bad then.
Because compared to other live-action movies based on cartoons, there's always a few scenes where you got, say, like in the Alvin and the Chipmunks movie, you can clearly tell that the chipmunks don't look like real chipmunks. And to further cement it, right at the end of the movie, you see the main villain trying to teach real chipmunks how to sing, and you can clearly tell that, oh, those are what chipmunks are supposed to look like in this universe, and not these free fuzzballs.
Yeah.
Freaks.
Well, it's a bit like how I hear all the time that when people see Sonic in games next to like a real dog, and they're like, what am I looking at? It's a hedgehog on two legs, a blue hedgehog stood next to a real looking dog, when people like us know that they're taking it from the Sonic's from a different world, and that's why he looks like that.
Yeah, that scenario makes sense, because if he's an alien, you can have all the rules you want.
But then I thought the Tom and Jerry trailers looked good with the real animals. So is this another oh, can you change this scenario because it doesn't look right again? And that's why they've put animated animals in it now.
I guess people are just sort of nonchalant about it, like, oh hey, this is going to be a film that'll exist. I'll leave that up for other people to decide. That's basically what everyone's thoughts are on these trailers.
Yeah.
Is this what you think?
Technically, yeah, unless they actually do incredibly at the box office, which I'm doubting, but still, it's nice to see Tom and Jerry back again, and
Yeah, actually.
this style that they've chosen is definitely an interesting one. The comedy doesn't exactly make me laugh. Maybe I'm not the right age for it, but I think at all ages, Tom and Jerry are supposed to make you laugh no matter what. So
Yeah.
already
Well,
alarm
actually,
bells
it's
ringing.
kind
So, yeah, that's just my thoughts on this movie. However, one interesting question that I have regarding this movie is will it do better than the Tom and Jerry movie that was purely 2D animation that came out many years ago?
Depends.
The original.
Yeah,
Oh, the one where they actually speak.
yeah,
His
that
character?
one.
Oh. I was starting to think that was a fever dream I had once.
Yeah.
Nope, it happened.
And I don't think I watched it.
The funny thing is, you could take Tom and Jerry out of that movie and it still wouldn't change the original plot of it, basically.
Yeah.
Because...
Kind of like that.
Yeah?
It's just kind of like how the sort of trend that happened where you took old stories, just slapped Tom and Jerry on it, like Tom and Jerry and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Remember that?
Yeah, that's kind of what the original movie feels like. Yeah, it's like it's like Tom and Jerry were just inserted into it in the last 10 minutes and just thought, yeah, this will draw in a crowd.
Yeah, true, but the thing is, when the first movie came out, it was still within the realms of its own story, whereas taking Willy Wonka and all that stuff, you're literally just slapping them into a existing story, which is a bit like... But I never really thought about it, but yeah, it is a bit like how it's like those films that I said I hate, is when you take the characters, throw them in the middle of New York and see what chaos ensues. And this new Tom and Jerry film does look like they are involved in a existing story.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
so
because
that's a good point.
from what I can see in the trailers, Tom and Jerry originally part ways from being a comedy act, and ultimately the two of them wind up in a hotel where Jerry's the guest and Tom is hired to catch him because, like what was brought up earlier, there's going to be a huge wedding and they don't want anything ruined. So you can probably piece together what will happen. So
Yeah.
But
yeah.
the one thing is, the classic Tom and Jerry, which is never going to be topped, it usually involved, Tom and Jerry are on a building site, or Tom and Jerry are at a dock, and then what chaos ensues. So they always end up in random places. So this could be just one of those random places where they turned up, but you're going to see the effects it has on people. So
Yeah.
Yeah. But for me, I was part of the generation that was around when Tom and Jerry Tales was released, and that was quite an impressive reboot series. Because came out at a good time alongside What's New Scooby-Doo, and it's sort of similar to the original series, how you can basically put them in any situation and then just have the story run wild. So, yeah, I think it's a good show. So, any other movies coming out you think you'd like a word on?
I have no idea.
yes.
Oh.
Yes. The Red Wool Reboot has come. At
Oh.
last.
Okay.
But
For our audience, actually, Dudley, you'll know a lot more about Redwall than I currently do. So why don't you handle this?
okay. I'd describe it as a cartoon I used to watch in the 90s where it's based on 3 books, 13 episodes a book, and basically all the characters are animals, but it's set in medieval times where they'd use like swords and shields and bows and arrows and things. So it's really good. But apparently there are 22 books in existence that it's based on, and now Netflix has got a hold of the rights to all 22 books, so they're going to be rebooting it. And this is something I've wanted ever since I saw the cartoon, so I'm buzzing
Wow.
about it.
Wow. Yeah, I'm happy for you. I'm I'm currently doing reactions to the original run of Redwall currently, as per Dudley's request. So
Yeah.
so far it's definitely an interesting story, and I think I sort of compare it to like I sort of compare this announcement to if you've got like a little known TV show that you used to love that not many people have heard of, and then all of a sudden, boom, blockbuster. It's I can imagine that feeling.
I feel like if it got more fame and more people knew about it, then we'd start getting like more video games or movies and all that sort of stuff, and it's the sort of thing that would work well in that.
So yeah, definitely a lot of interesting things to look forward to this year, especially after the dumpster fire that was 2020.
Yeah. I mean, I am looking forward to the new Ghostbusters film.
Ah, yeah,
Oh.
that was another film that was meant to come out last year, but hasn't seen a release yet. But
Yeah.
maybe someday.
Hopefully this year, I'm hoping.
Yep.
You are listening to the TBI show.
Well, it's time for the month's most ridiculous headlines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smash music.
All right. In this month's news, the world's first flying car mobile airport is to open in the UK later this year.
Oh?
Flying cars.
After
Uh,
all.
Yep. Everyone's fantasy dreams are coming true, apparently.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that, Dudley?
I'm thinking when they got to 2015 and they said Back to the Future stuff doesn't exist yet, they were showing them in China experimenting with flying cars. So this is like, oh, it's come full circle. My thought is, what energy source is going to power flying cars that will save us from using up more fuel and stuff like that? Just electricity?
possibly.
Who knows? I mean, flying cars. In Back to the Future, they were the flying cars were running on just vegetable peelings and leftover food waste, etc.
Yeah.
Because they were trying to be so
I don't think I'm
entirely
quite there.
eco-friendly. Yeah. So yeah, they also promised us hydration, instant hydrated food in Back to the Future. Like one tiny little disc, put it in an oven for 5 seconds, and suddenly, boom, Domino's pizza.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And self-lacing shoes. Never forget
Oh
that.
yeah.
Yep. Still waiting on that darn hoverboard.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
Instead, we've got ox boards with like the 2 wheels.
Oh my god.
Will we ever see a flying stretch limo?
Interesting. Okay, here's the next headline. giant pythons have been found in the Scottish town of Greenock.
Oh,
Ew.
So,
Nothing to do with me.
nothing, no.
sending spies to seek out fresh powder wherever he may be. So,
Perfect plan.
so
That is a bad time.
yeah, I saw this in the news throughout February, and jeez, giant 10-foot pythons have been discovered in the wilds around the Greenock area.
Yeah, I don't think pythons are indigenous to the Scottish land.
Yeah, so
Somebody's pet managed to escape and then got busy.
Yeah.
Possibly, yeah.
now, of all places and all times to release a tropical giant snake into the wild, why in Scotland in the middle of winter?
Like that.
Why not?
I mean, the UK is no place for giant reptiles. I mean, the biggest reptiles we have are like the adder, which is probably Britain's only poisonous snake.
Yeah.
So
We have. I'm wondering if it was just an isolated case. It wasn't. I mean, are they actually being found still?
apparently a lot of them have been wrangled in, but who knows, there might be a ton of others out there that haven't been found yet. But at the same time, with all the freezing temperatures and frosty nights we've been having, I doubt they're going to be around for very long.
It'll be like if there was snowfall in the Sahara.
Yeah. Okay, here's the next headline. Amazon has unveiled a 350-foot story helix building for its new campus, and to many critics, it looks like a pile of poop. So, yeah, I'm just looking at it now. It's like a swirly cone-shaped structure with trees growing on its roof, and yep, I can see the resemblance. So, poor Amazon. One of the top suppliers of products in the world, and their headquarters looks like a pile of crap.
Oh, yeah. Nope.
So, what are your thoughts?
What else can you say?
Do other things. They have the cash to make that, but not, do things that actually need done.
Yeah, boy. Actually, this next headline is also about building. It's not exactly ridiculous. I just think it's pretty darn amazing.
Yeah.
Barack Obama has planned his own presidential center.
Ooh.
Hey, do you remember when Barack Obama was the president? Do you want that all the time? Well, come on down to Jackson Park, Chicago. President Obama is building his own presidential office, apparently.
Wow.
So basically, he's taken the ending of Black Panther and made it a reality. That is amazing.
Yeah, I can tell.
I'd vote for Obama again anytime.
Honestly, anything's an improvement at this point.
Yep.
Agreed.
So yeah, Barack Obama's opening up his own presidential center. It's quite an amazing plan. It's even got a playground and a sledding hill. So he's thought of everything.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on that,
Sounds interesting.
Dudley?
I guess it's quite a statement. Like if anyone wants to throw out support, Obama, then that's where they go.
Yeah, I mean, with this revelation, who next is going to be making their own buildings for gathering support?
We
We're
shall
no
see.
you.
Who knows? Maybe I don't know. People will just keep outbuilding one another and say, "I'm the president. I'm the president. I'm the president."
Oh no.
Who knows?
If they really want to get noticed, they need to do it like James May's Lego house and do it like that. See if it, what I don't know. Oh, wasted joke. I'm sorry.
All right. Here's the next headline. Kind of ties into one of the headlines we had last podcast.
Oh.
And it says, Ryan Reynolds, aka Deadpool, he has stated his first MCU mission will be finding who killed Bambi's mom.
Oh.
At last,
Yep.
lifelong mystery.
So yeah, now that Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool is now technically owned by Disney, he's going to get busy.
Yes.
So he's on the hunt to find who killed Bambi's mom.
Mm.
The hunter has become the hunted.
I heard rumor a while ago that Judge Doom from Who Framed Roger Rabbit again was going to be the one who killed Bambi's mum,
Jeez.
but they never kept it in. So I
Oh.
just a bit of fun fact.
If they brought that up in the movie, then Jesus. So yeah, Ryan Reynolds is already having huge plans for his future in the MCU. So
Where you heard that?
Oh, there's just it was just fan theories. I've heard, but I heard, I don't know if I read that in actual trivia or not. So it might be worth looking up. So it could have been true. I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
but yeah, having watched Deadpool 2 again recently, yeah, Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool can do a lot of crazy shenanigans, so I would be surprised if the person who killed Bambi's mom is at the top of his list. So
Yeah, definitely.
I'm Randy Newman, and you're listening to TBI. Well, to round this podcast off, I'd like to bring up a bit of a story that I have regarding the lockdown last year.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, with everyone stuck at home, everyone decided, hey, we've got all the time in the world now. Let's finally start renovating our homes and getting jobs done for once.
Yay!
And so, yeah, throughout 2020, it was like that. Everything was getting renovated and repainted, and even now, as we speak, we're getting a new wood burner installed in our living room, so
Oh.
Ooh.
it'll be a step up from the fireplace that doesn't even work currently.
So it's like an ethical one.
Yeah, I get a sense of impending doom because the floor is also made of wood, so... But, but still, I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah.
So, during the summer of 2020, my family decided, you know what, the garden needs some updating, and my dad made the unfortunate mistake of asking me and my brother, you know, if you wanted something in the garden, we can always put it in for you. So, if we wanted, we could have whatever we want in the garden without consequences.
I have a bad feeling about this.
And so, as I was traveling, because as I was going inside to my room, as I walked through the living room, I realized, wow, we've been to Africa 3 times, so much so that our living room is basically decorated with African furniture and souvenirs.
Oh.
And so that got me thinking, what could I put in the garden that has an African theme? And so I went online and I made a bit of an interesting purchase from America.
Okay.
And
Can I guess?
sure.
Is it perchance a giraffe statue?
Nope.
Oh.
No.
Dang
Oh.
it.
What I bought was 2 of those generic pink plastic garden flamingos.
Nice.
So yeah, I just thought, hey, they're from Africa and they can go in the garden, so why not?
I know, indeed.
So yeah, eventually they arrived in their package, and I set them up in the garden behind the pond, and one morning Dad just came out and he just goes, "What is that?" So he was like, "Oh God, why? Why do we need these in the garden?" But eventually he did grow to like them, and he even gave them names.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, he called them Pinky and Perky.
That's cute.
Yeah, because Perky, because one of them stands up tall, while the other one, well, of course he's pink, but he also has his neck drooped down, as if he's looking for something. So, Pinky and Perky. And they're still standing out in the garden to this day.
Oh.
Nice.
So, yeah, you've probably seen them already, Rowan, when you came over that one time.
Yeah.
And throughout the rest of the year, I just remember everything was flamingo themed.
Yeah.
Like on my birthday, I got cards that featured, like from moonpig.com, I got cards that had like pictures of them there, like, oh hey, it's Pinky and Perky. And a lot of the presents were wrapped up in flamingo print paper, so yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering what that was about.
Yep, now you know. It's all to do with Pinky and Perky.
Also, you can't help but mention that little flamingo statues are an object you can buy in Animal Crossing, and Dan's got those on his island.
Yep.
Ah.
Seen that.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about flamingos. It's just,
Just like such a classic of garden decorations.
yeah. All we need are some cardboard cutouts of livestock and people bending over, and then it'll be perfect.
Oh.
Oh, God. But yeah, I thought I'd bring that up just to
Like, no.
end off on a funny note.
Cool.
So yeah, that's the podcast almost done. So
Damn.
anything you want to bring up before we sign off?
Just stay safe, everybody. I'll be 1 year older next time we meet.
Ah, yes.
I might be the same.
Your birthdays are coming up, so
Yeah. Well, mine's in August. Mine, yeah. I'm 18. Yeah.
Nice.
so yep. Sooner or later, the Nintendo Direct will be uploaded and streaming live. So, will any of our speculation come true? Well, only you guys will know that. So
Yeah.
we'll leave it there. So,
It's a fun game.
so we'll see you guys next time. Time to say goodbye, guys.
Bye-bye.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.